Many military personnel are affected by post-traumatic stress disorder, which former comrades Dorian Donnelly and Matt Morris know all too well.
Yeah, now, they both struggled to come to terms with their PTSD after returning from service in Iraq. That was until we introduced them to the Speakmans.
Dorian and Matt joined the Royal Regiment of Wales as infantry soldiers on the same day in 1999.
I was really happy, and I just enjoyed my job, really, I suppose. A bit like a sort of band of brothers, and we all were very close.
Both men were posted out to Iraq, where they experienced first-hand frontline warfare.
On a daily basis, you've seen things which, you know, were horrendous. I lost some very good friends out there as well.
After returning home, both noticed that things weren't quite right with their moods and behaviour, with one of Matt's symptoms being chronic claustrophobia.
I had like a massive panic attack. At the time, you don't know what it is. You know, you just think you're going bonkers.
Whilst one of Dorian's symptoms was a fear of crowds.
I sat there and told the doctor, but he said, I'm going to give you some antidepressants. I went, well, I'm not depressed. You know, I can't explain what's going on, but I'm not depressed.
Both soldiers were medically diagnosed with complex PTSD, which took its toll on their home and family life.
I've missed family weddings, several family get-togethers. My eldest child loves rugby, but do you think I could take him up to the stadium with 75,000 people and sit there and watch a game of rugby? No.
You lose your self-confidence, you lose your self-belief.
If I keep going the way I am, maybe 5 or 10 years down the line, I might be out on the street by myself.
The Speakmans helped Matt in 2016 and Dorian a year later.
You need to let it go, and it is your choice.
After receiving treatment from the Speakmans, both men were able to face their fears, with Matt conquering his dread of confined spaces. And Dorian finally fulfilled his dream of taking his kids to the rugby. Now, that's all well and good, and we hope that was a happy ending. As you can see, Matt and Dorian are here with Nick and Eva, and you know they've all met before and been treated before. But do either of you two feel that the PTSD creeps back? Or could? Is that a worry? Is that a fear you live with?
You can have it thinking like that, I suppose, yes, but it's mental health. You've always got to keep on top of it. And, I don't know.
But Dorian, do you live with that fear? You think it's too good to believe that this is gone forever once it has happened to you?
Well, that's just going to be in a vicious circle going around and around.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that, you know, to how I was, I'm much better now.
Well, let me put the question to Nick and Eva.
Yes.
And to anyone who's been through this, no matter what their walk of life is, can it come back?
It's our belief that it can't, because it can't come back because the circumstances that create it have now changed. Because both Matt and Dorian, one of the issues they had flashbacks.
Yeah.
And you know, Matt had a fear of confined spaces. Dorian couldn't go in crowds. You don't have flashbacks anymore, do you? Yeah.
Nope.
No?
No.
And you know, and Matt, we know that Matt can fly now because we actually surprised him in Vegas, as it happens, a few years ago. Yeah. And obviously you've been to the rugby. So I think what happens, though, is once you've been given a label, if you have issues in your life, you tend to default back to that label. Because I was talking to Dorian earlier, and he was just saying that they had some issues, and they were just standard issues in life. But he thought, well, maybe that's PTSD, but it was nothing to do with it.
Everything is to do with that.
Yeah.
And Eva, we talked about this last week. So there was a veteran campaigning, wasn't there, to have a centre reopened to help veterans with PTSD. And so many of them are told there's no cure for this, you just have to manage it.
Yes.
What do you believe?
Well, we believe that you can get over a PTSD, and it's quite sad, really, because I think a lot of people do still believe that. And up until quite recently, we noticed that it did used to say that PTSD could only be managed
on the NHS
website. And in recent times, that has actually changed. And even the NHS website now says that, yes, PTSD can be successfully treated. I don't know why that message doesn't seem to have been rippling forward. You know, it is a journey, for sure, and for some it can take quite some time. But it's quite frustrating when people believe, you know, if somebody believes that they can't get over it and they're stuck with this condition for life, then it actually takes hope away from them, and it gives them that kind of, well, what's the point? And I know that both Matt and Dorian found themselves in that situation where, well, what's the point? And obviously, like I say, you know, Are they still going to have ups and downs in life like everybody? Absolutely, yes, they are. Are they ever going to forget what they saw? No, they're not. But what they can do is actually move on with their life, but leave the trauma where it is. Remember the people that they lost, but they can now get on with their life, and they're no longer hindered.
Now, Nick, just before we cut away to the silence, you were about to speak, and before you do, I'd just like to ask Dorian and Matt, does Remembrance Sunday mean anything particularly to you as ex-servicemen?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Obviously, both of us have lost very close friends, and I think it's just a matter of kind of reflecting on them times during, you know, all year round, but this day highlights it most, you know.
I asked that question, really, Nick, I suppose, because you look at these lads and you think maybe they shouldn't go back to those places, maybe they shouldn't think of those times, maybe they should do anything they can to blot it out of their memory. Yeah,
but I think that once you've dealt with PTSD, they're OK to think about those things. It's a very valid point there, Eamonn. But I think the thing that we say is that no one should have hope taken away from them. PTSD can be successfully treated. And once you tell someone that PTSD is for life, they then walk around with a label. And normal things that come up in life, you can then go back and say, oh, it could be the PTSD, and that's not the case.
And the other thing is, Dorian, you know, it affected the two of you very badly, but it also affects your family, doesn't it?
Massively. Massively. You know, I took my wife on honeymoon and we rushed through that because I didn't want to be anywhere. Or anywhere there was a crowd.
You couldn't cope with all the crowds and traffic.
Everywhere we went to the Colosseum, we kind of just dragged my wife through it. Didn't really stop, take it all in. It was just fly by.
And this is what's great about you two being on here today. So thank you both, because I think it's really important moving forward that people can speak about it. People do speak openly, that it shouldn't be the wives that are asking for help. You know, that you're great proof that it's OK to ask for help. It's OK to have had PTSD. It's very, very normal. And there's a lot of other people struggling, and we really hope that, today will give people some hope.
Do you two, how close do you two remain to today? You were children when you joined the army. Do you see much of each other today?
We don't see much of each other, not as much as we'd like, but...
We speak on the phone at least probably 3 or 4 times a week.
Yeah.
And you have that shared experience.
Well,
absolutely.
Keep well.
Keep
That's
well.
what I say to both of you.
Cheers.
Thank you very much indeed,
Cheers.
Matt and Dorian.